It's a great day here in New Orleans as we're here at the Allstate AFCA Good Works Day as Son of a Saint. A lot of kids here getting coached up by some of these great, tremendous leaders from across college football. And one of the alumni of the Good Works team, he is Sam Acho, of course, from ESPN, and doing a ton of stuff out here, doing some good work with your guy, Tim Tebow. And, man, what an awesome event this is today.
No, I couldn't be happier to be here, Chris. I'm here with the Allstate AFCA Good Works team. We're here at the Saints facility with an organization called Son of a Saint who actually helps kids who don't have fathers in their lives. And so we're doing a football camp with some of the, we have 22 members of the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, and many of them are here. Other guys are playing in championship games, right? But, the guys are here coaching up one-on-one some of these kids from Son of a Saint. So the best thing about me being a part of the Allstate AFCA Good Works team is the fact that not only do I and Tim and guys like Trevor Lawrence, not only do we keep on coming back, but also it's not just to get or present an award. All these guys will be they'll be at halftime of the Sugar Bowl, they'll be on the field, they'll be getting awarded, but they're choosing to spend their day with the kids from Son of a Saint.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was talking with Tim about it, all these – this award circuit when the season ends, it's kind of like you're getting honored, but it's mostly for your work on the football field. This is something you're, honored for your work off the field. And I was telling Tim, just to see the guys working with kids, there's no cameras around or anything. They're genuinely enjoying what they're doing out here.
Yeah, Chris, this is the premier award for leadership. You think about off the field, the many awards, the Heisman Trophy, okay, you're a great football player. The Campbell Trophy, okay, academically you're strong. But when it comes to Belindikoff, okay, you're the best receiver. But when it comes to the Allstate AFCA Good Works team, it's two things. Number one, it's the fact that, okay, you actually care about people in your community. When no one's watching, when there are no cameras, when there's no people cheering, you're doing that work, number one. And number two, it's a team. Notice it's not just one individual award winner. There are 22 people, 11 from the FBS, 11 from FCS, different teams who are on this Allstate AFCA Good Works team. And so you think about impact, the impact is amplified because it's not just one person or one story. It's 22 players, 22 stories. There's a coach as well, Michael Oxley, every single year. And then there's this team captain, right? Blake Corum's the Allstate AFCA Good Works team captain. Obviously, he's in a championship game. He's a great player as well, but he's doing stuff in his community. And so what I love is that this is not just about talk. It's about action. It's about leadership. It's about inspiration. It's about impact.
Let's talk with Sam Acho here, and again, tremendous event. And I had a couple football questions for you. For years, it feels like the question is Texas back? Is Texas back? Texas is back. How exciting to see what Sark has done this year, and the Longhorns, here they are in the playoff.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited. I got a chance to speak to the team before the season started, and it was interesting because Sark and I connected. And when I first started at ESPN, the first thing I did was the spring game for Texas and Sark. I got a chance to call Quinn Ewer's first ever game when they were playing, I guess it was Rice or Louisiana Monroe, a few years at Rice. Yeah. And a few years later, you look at guys like Jordan Whittington, one of their star receivers, and he was like, dude, I never thought we would be here. I've been through the ups and the downs and even below the downs, and now we're here. And when I got a chance to talk to the team, it was this message of faith and belief and confidence, and they have all of that. And the cohesiveness is what stands out to me the most. Talk a lot about culture, and people use that word a lot, but this team, they care about each other, and they play for one another, and they fight for one another. And so I could not be more excited. I could be more excited, I will say this, because I'm calling the game, so I'm trying to be a little bit unbiased. But as I'm watching the tape, I'm going to go back and watch more Texas. I think they have a really great chance to get a win.
If they get this thing done, does the Big 12 claim the championship? Does the SEC get partial ownership? I mean, it's this weird 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing.
Yeah, I think the SEC will definitely try to claim ownership, and partly because the Big 12 wanted, in a lot of ways, when Texas and Oklahoma decided they were going to leave to go to the SEC, well, the Big 12 and their commissioner, Brett Yormark, were like, hey, go. You're out of here. He was saying for Texas Tech, I'm going to be at the game. I want y'all to dominate. And Texas won that game 57-7. But the point is, I think the SEC will claim that victory because they're saying, hey, this team will be a part of the SEC next year. And they're an SEC team for all intents and purposes now.
I had a chance to talk to T'Vondre Sweat, and the D-line has been so good for Texas this year. And I asked him, look, Washington's got a really good O-line, and he kind of dismissed it. He said, look, we're not worried about them. We're going to go do what we do. And some people take that as trash talk sometimes, but I think he genuinely believe they're going to get after Michael Penix and they're going to make this thing happen.
You have to be confident if you're a football player. Imagine you say, oh man, this offensive line, and it's like, oh no, I don't know what I'm going to do. No, you have to be confident. And he is. T'Vondre Sweat is the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, number one. Number two, Byron Murphy was on Bruce Feldman's freak list, one of the freakiest athletes in America, number two. Number three, this defense is the best statistically when it comes to yards given up between the tackles. So no one is better than those two interior guys when it comes to rushing yards. And so they should have confidence because they've done it before. But also I think about, whether it's Byron or Tavondre, those guys care about their communities as well. I've got a chance to spend a little bit of time with Tavondre. He just did an event right before coming out here in his hometown. So like these are the kinds of guys that we get a chance to highlight, get a chance to spend time with, get a chance to get to know. You take the helmet off, you realize, oh, wow, these players care about their community. That's why you think about me being here, or some of the guys who are here with the Allstate AFCA Good Works Team.
We kind of teased it, the SEC maybe could claim the championship if Texas wins, but what's your thought? This is going to be weird. Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC next year. The schedule gets a little bit more difficult, but is it still kind of weird for you? It's going to be weird for everybody to adjust to.
It'll be weird. I haven't adjusted yet. In my mind, I'm still hopeful that Texas is going to finish the job. People talk about, it's good to be here, but it's also good to finish. It's better to finish. And so I'm excited to see and watch Texas finish, number one. Number two, I'm excited to, as you mentioned, Chris, talking to some of the guys, like you get a chance to know the players, hear their stories, know their backgrounds, know the stuff they care about. I was at the when we awarded Tavondre with the Outland Trophy for the best lineman. Right? Yeah, I think it was Outland, yeah. You listen to why he talks. He's like, man, I do it for my mom. Like every single one of these players that is in this game, or even on this Allstate AFCA Good Works team, they have people behind them. And the players here got a chance to bring their parents, or maybe bring their some players brought their wives. Like, we all play for something. And the fact that it's like, yes, maybe you win a championship, maybe you don't, but what you're doing here, what you're doing with Allstate, the AFCA Good Works Team, what you do in your community when no one watches, maybe you don't get awarded, that's the stuff that no one can take away.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you, speaking of good people, get your thought quickly on CJ Stroud, how quickly he's come into Houston and turned the tide for the Houston Texans. Just unbelievable. And D'Amico Ryans, what he's been able to do in year one, but just kind of on the outside looking in, what do you make of the year that they've had so far?
I've been amazed, Chris, because CJ Stroud, so talking about trophies, I was at the Heisman Trophy ceremony 2 years ago when CJ Stroud lost back-to-back times. And it was interesting because he and his mom and his family, they wanted to go take a picture, with some of the trophy. And he didn't win, and so they were trying to get the winner and all the things. And the bus was leaving and all these things, and they were kind of like turning off the lights and, hey, CJ, the bus is leaving. We got to go, go, go. And he's like, hey, man, this is a moment. I'd like to just take a picture. Well, we're going to leave you. And he was like, you know what? You guys go ahead. I'll catch an Uber. I'll figure it out. And at that moment, I was like, now, I've watched CJ Stroud as a player and been extremely impressed. But as a human, I was like, I need to get to know this guy. You know who was right next to him? His mom, sister, right? His family, his people, right? His dad is incarcerated right now. Some of the people who we work with, the son of a saint, some of their dads are incarcerated. Some of their dads have been killed by violence. Some of the people who are on the Allstate AFCA Good Works Team, some of these players, they're actually fighting issues like this. They're going into prisons and trying to fight recidivism. They're going into prisons and trying to have people get degrees, official degrees, just like they have. And so you think about like the actual impact that people actually make. Take out all the talking points, take out all the awards. Like CJ Stroud, by God's grace, maybe he'll, CJ Stroud is going to go win awards, win MVPs, right? Maybe he'll get a chance to see his dad outside of prison, right? But maybe some of these kids who don't have their dads in their lives and they're still alive, maybe there can be a change. There's a verse I think about, it said 2 Corinthians 5:17, and it says, like, you're a new creation. The old has passed away and the new is here. And in my time, and whether it's prison ministry or things like that, or even from a college freshman to a senior to go to the NFL, like, things change. People change. And so the growth of CJ Stroud, the growth of the Texans, Will Anderson, right, Alabama star, who's been dominant for them as well, has been so fun to watch. D'Amico Ryans, he played with my brother. I know him, not super well, but it's been fun for me to watch because what once was dead, like the Texans and whatever, is now alive. So that's what I get excited about.
It's a pleasure to talk with Sam Acho and the folks here at Allstate Good Works Day. Couldn't pick two more genuinely good people. You and Tim Tebow help lead this thing. So congrats on all your success, man. Congrats on doing an awesome thing here today. And man, it's gonna be a fun day to see what all these kids take away from today. So thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much. And one quick thing that I have to just point out: a lot of people do a lot of charity events and they do it for awards and accolades. There's like 20 kids here, like 30 kids. They're getting one-on-one individualized attention around the holidays when their dads aren't around from men who are older than them. Like, there's value in what these men are doing. So the more we can highlight it, the more that you can do what you're doing and highlighting it, the better, because it'll help more people to do it. So thank you, Chris, for the work that you do, obviously covering the sport, covering the teams, especially the teams in Houston and Texas, but also for highlighting stories like these. It means a lot.
Sam Acho, one of the best out there. Hook 'em. We'll see if the Horns get it done. But thanks so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.